And at the end of 19th, as you know, we received, not deserved, some independence. So we are still confused. Me and my generation, 20 years before perestroika and after independence time, also 20 years. So we are witness how change the environment as well as our politics and everything in country as well. And you know that about civil war destroying older part of Tbilisi in the center because communist puts political and administrative center in the center of the old town. They were very aggressive. They understand the value of old towns, their beauty, and they wanted to put their ideas, their faith in that part, only there, not some outside of Tbilisi. So in our historical parts, it doesn't exist, this building. And for God's sake, we have all documents of this period. Say, our famous architect published this book, Architecture of Tbilisi, 1992 and 2002. And as you know, in Soviet time, the building business was very strong in Georgia, and the persons working in this sphere, they have very big money, and they were very corrupted. So they will agree for everything, even because of the money. And even at the end of Soviet system, they wanted to make some through Transcaucasian, through Russian and Georgia railway, Transcaucasian railway. So they didn't stop and continue building in old part of Tbilisi, only in old part, and only in Tbilisi, unfortunately. Also start so-called restoration. It's the author of this building is still who restored in 70s, and look at this color and forms, and now our colored old Tbilisi and the other part of Tbilisi, it's I think the result of this tradition and these terrible measures. And the first building what we lost, it's this near Bethlehem Church, and now it's block houses, horrible. And the first horrible buildings, huge hotel built in the most older place where comes the legend of Tbilisi in Bas district. And if you see in life this hotel, it's almost the same size as this hill with mosques, with houses, with buses. And in first, its beginning, this hotel was flat and huge, and the architects, they understand that they must share and color different colors, and now it looks like this. Also, we received some new McDonald's, horrible architecture, but I'd like to mention 2 or 3 nice samples that time built in old part of Tbilisi with this proportion, and with old buildings, they are sitting well. And starts new cathedrals building, which is at least 10 times bigger than Pashveti Church on Strawberry Avenue. But it was built in the other of the river. Next historical district is called Avlavari. Please pay attention, it's Pashveti Church. It was built in 1940 instead of old church, and that time also we have architectural problems, and they decided to make copy one of the famous 11th century church. Also our patriarch organized 3 competitions, but could not make some choice. So later he invited one architect to make all this project like an old style. Also some oligarch architect near the Sololaki and Narikala fortress, Russian oligarch, Georgian Russian oligarch Ivanishvili built his huge house, privatized part of the botanical garden. You can see it from the Freedom Square. And the first, at the beginning, this building was called like business center, but now it's dwelling complex. Also, some terrible buildings were started in the only old part. Also, this unique place near Metehi Rock, it's damaged terribly. This hotel, Tbilisi, I have to mention it because the architect did some false waterfall. But as you know, if you will, sometimes you will go there. Please go inside. Back of this building is historical rock with natural waterfall called Isniskari, the door of Isani. And the stupid architect closed this natural waterfall and did this artificial one in front of the buildings. And this is a house of restoration of 70s, partly, and it's ruined, and now we have Kopala Hotel here near Metehi. And this building, 10 years, almost 10 years, municipality promised, we will ruin this and restore exactly the same. Now you describe the main decision, it's the same.
What is that?
It's very interesting to see what are doing some simple citizens in Georgia. Simple citizens who are not very rich. They make new balconies, beautiful metal works, balconies with beds details. It's metal bed. Also such a terrible houses, everything is closed. And this house is architect's house. He was working at the monument department during 40 years. And finally he received here house and reconstructed. And look at this. It's also different balconies, and these balconies were opened every time, but later it closed, and also one individual made his own balconies up this facade. And it's time to Rose's revolution, we changed flag, and starts Palace of the President. And a few words, please. Pay attention, there was a building of police in communist time, 2-floor building. When started 17 years restoration work by Gigabatashvili and Tatarashvili, they put on this building these false neoclassical columns. It was not built by building materials, it was like carton, clipboard or how, and plastered. Butafori. How can I say that? And now look at this, it became like neoclassical building, police. Now when Misha came after the inauguration, during 2 weeks, he announced that I am not gonna stay in communist office. It's perfect, it's wonderful. And I don't need some palaces and other houses. I will reconstruct only these old buildings, and it will be enough for me. And the reconstruction started. And finished. And please pay attention, all these houses are destroying now because the whole size of this territory is almost 12 hectares. Hectare. And now it's famous, and I'm not lying, Misha announced himself that this cupola is his idea, and people is very funny, as you know, also the nickname of this building, they call this building Misha's X. Please, we can compare first communist political building and independent Georgia's political building. The different tastes, it's evidence. It's big evidence. Now we have 2 important buildings after 20 years our independence, religious and political too. And please watch some transformation of Freedom Square during 3 centuries. And it's the same scale, don't forget. The other part, the view to Tatsminda, it's closed completely now by Marriott. And some other hobby of our president is fountains. But fountains through the squares where it's going only machine, not people. But in Batum you can touch this, it's on the boulevard. But in Hashu, it's in the center of crossroads. Also in Tbilisi and the form, it is the same. We have similar fountains, so Didi, Hashu, Batum, and so on. And started cutting big